Concept 2, using the distributive property to simplify. So the distributive property lets us simplify expressions that normally we couldn't. All right. So usually, if we have an expression with parentheses, we use the order of operations, and it tells us, okay, do whatever is inside the parentheses first. So 2 plus 4 to get 6, and then multiply what's outside, okay, to get 18 in this case. But when we have a variable inside our parentheses, we can't combine those terms, right? We can't add 4 and x because we don't know what x is. So we're going to use the distributive property, which says that we're going to take this number we're multiplying, and we're going to multiply it by each term. Okay, so we multiply 3 times x, and then we add it to 3 times 4. We simplify those to 3x plus 12. And that's how we're going to use the distributive property to simplify. All right, we are going to take our multiplier, okay, whatever's on the outside, and multiply it by each term, and whatever sign is in the middle, if we've got 2 terms, is going to be the sign that's left here. However, we might have a negative out here, in which case you're going to have to factor that in. Okay, you're going to, if this was a negative 3x, it would be a negative 3, and then a negative 3 times 4, which would give you a negative 12, and a negative 3x, and you'd have negative 3x minus 12. Okay, so keep that in mind. Sometimes we will have negative values that we are multiplying by. All right, so let's look at a couple examples. We have 2 times 2x plus 3y, and then outside the parentheses, minus 4x plus 16. So we multiply by each term. We distribute. Okay, 2 times 2x is 4x, plus 2 times 3y is 6y, and then I've got my minus 4x plus 16. All right, and now I'm back to combining like terms. Okay, in this case, I'm not going to move things around because I've only got 2 like terms, and you can see I have a 4x and I have a negative 4x, so those actually are going to cancel each other out, and I'd be left with just 6y plus 16. Okay, let's look at this one. So there's a little more going on now. Again, just like with the order of operations, we're going to start with our parentheses, but instead of doing what's inside them, we distribute. Okay, and it doesn't really matter how many terms we have. We're still going to multiply our whatever we're multiplying by, this value, by every term inside of our parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to bring down everything. 3x squared plus 2x plus 5 times, times x squared minus 5 times 2x plus 5 times 6. Okay, and then we can do our multiplication and combine our like terms. So this is going to be 5x squared minus 10x plus 5 times 6, or 30. Okay, and here I'm going to find my like terms. Like terms, this should be a plus like term, and then my x, negative 10x, and then my non-variable constants. Okay, rewrite 3x squared plus 5x squared plus 2x minus 10x plus 30. Okay. 5x squared plus 5x squared is 8x squared. I'm getting ahead of myself. So now I've got a positive 2x minus 10x, which is going to come up with a negative 8x. And then I've got my plus 30. And then I've got my simplified expression for this whole expression up here.